Okay, so this video, I'm actually going to be in places probably pretty blunt. And that's probably going to make a lot of people mad because, you know, in today's society, everybody's offended by everything. And if you're not sugarcoating or holding their hand and practically doing everything for them, they don't like you or they get mad at you. But anyway, I just want to point out that whatever I say in this video from a point of bluntness is not to be an asshole. I'm trying to help you. Okay, and sugarcoating things, holding your hand and guiding people through everything, that's not helping you. It is not going to help you, okay? So, first off, to kick off this whole video, I'm going to say that what I'm going to teach you is probably the scariest thing I can teach you. It is going to be uncomfortable, it is going to be painful, and you're not going to like it. I don't care. People have come to me with attitudes before saying, I don't want to do this because it don't make me feel good. I don't like it. You know, it's bringing up all these bad feelings. That's what it's supposed to do. That's what it's supposed to do. And I need you to feel those things, okay? I also need you to watch this video in its entirety so that you can hear what I'm trying to tell you. So many people want to skip ahead in videos. Oh, I'm going to skip this and just get to the end. If you're one of those people that do that, I don't want to work with you. I don't want to speak to you. I'm not even going to try to help you because you're not serious. If you can't take a few minutes out of your time to do something that is going to be life-changing and help you to evolve your craft, then I don't want to waste my time talking to you. So go ahead and turn this video off right now. So, people that call themselves baby witches, I hate that term. I hate the term baby witch. You're not a baby, okay? Stop using that term. When I hear someone say the term, oh, I'm a baby witch, okay, you're not interested in learning, you're not serious, you want everybody to do the work for you, and if somebody out there is saying, well, hello, all my baby witches, I don't want to hear anything that you have to say either because I'm not taking you seriously. I'm not going to take anybody seriously that uses the term baby witch. Unless you are an actual infant, don't use the term baby. I'm not going to use the term baby unless Shamar Moore wants to call me baby girl, then I am the baby. But you are either an apprentice witch or an inexperienced witch. You're a beginning witch, but you're not a baby witch. Second of all, when people say, well, can you do a spell for me? No, well, I could, but I'm not going to. A lot of self-proclaimed baby witches do that. Can you do a spell for me? No, I cannot. You know, people want you to do things for them, is what I'm getting at. They don't want to put in the work. And then you have the little 18, 19, 20-year-olds, you know, said, oh, I can teach you how to be like this strong witch. No, you can't, because I'm reasonably certain you haven't done the work yourself to get to where you need to be in order to teach me anything. So about me, I think I've said this in previous videos. Anyway, I have practiced the craft for as long as I can remember, before I even started going to school, which would have been about the age of 5 for me. I was taught by my mother and my grandmother mountain magic, that term mountain magic, because that's where my family comes from, way up in the mountains of North Carolina. I learned a lot of that. Hoodoo is my thing. That is what I mainly practice. I don't care what you practice. But this right here is what you need to do before you really try to start practicing anything, okay? And what this is called shadow work. And somebody out there is rolling their eyes, oh, I don't want to do that. Let's just get to the good stuff of the hexing and this and this. Okay, knock that off. Before you can really understand the craft, you need to know that the craft is all about intention. This pen is not magical. This book is not magical. There's nothing magical. It's all about intention. And if you can't learn how to put forth intent from a place of your higher self and not from your ego, nothing that you do is going to work correctly. I've had so many people say, well, my spell didn't work. I did what you told me and it didn't work. What kind of shadow work have you done? What? See, they don't want to put in the work. They don't want to put in the effort. And if you don't do that, it's not going to work correctly. So, what shadow work is, like I said, it's going to be difficult to get through. It's going to be painful in a lot of places, and it's going to be scary. And if you are not uncomfortable doing this, then you're not doing it right. If you are doing this, what I'm about to tell you, if you're doing this and you're not feeling some kind of way, if you're not feeling emotions starting to tumble, if you're not feeling uncomfortable, you're lying to yourself. Now, shadow work is all about working with your shadow self. There are 3 yous out there. 3. The first you is the actual physical you that is sitting here watching this video. It's the person that you see when you look into a mirror. That's the first you, okay? The second you is the one that you project into the world. It's how you want your boss to see you. It's how you want your friends to see you. That cute guy you got your eye on, or cute girl you got your eye on. It's how you want them to perceive you. That's the second you, okay? Then there is the third you. The third you is the shadow you. It is the you that has suffered the trauma. It has suffered the abuse. It is the one that you don't want anybody else to see. And I can almost guarantee you that you have stifled it so much that you don't think you need to see it either. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Excuse me. Now, your shadow self is never going to go away. It's a part of you. Your shadow self is a part of you. But what you can learn to do is to bring that shadow you out and walk side by side with it through your life and not letting it get the best of you and learning how to work with it. Now, when you break yourself down mentally, emotionally, you are going to learn what your true self is over here versus what your ego is. Now, if you run into somebody that has made you, oh, I don't like you, I'm going to throw this hex your way. Okay, you're speaking from a place of ego. Did that person deserve what you sent towards them? If they utterly deserved it, then I say send everything you got towards them. But if you're doing it just to try to get rid of your competition, just to try to get rid of somebody in your life that's kind of getting on my nerves and, I don't want you around anymore, you need to stop. Because you're not doing anything from a sense of morality, and you're not doing anything from a sense of higher self. That is all your ego. So what you need to do to start off with your shadow work, you need to give yourself at least 30 days to do this. Once you're done with your 30 days, take your journal and put it away. And then you need to come back and do it all over again every 6 months, okay? Because like I said, your shadow self does not go away. Your shadow self is always going to be there, but you do evolve. You evolve, you progress, and you grow throughout your life, okay? And it is so good for you to do this every 6 months so that you can go from the beginning and read through and see how your feelings about certain things have changed. Okay, so you need a notebook. I want to say a sturdy notebook. Now, I got this at Walmart. Not very expensive, right around $7. And then a pen. This just happens to be a pen that I have laying around that I got from the Dollar Tree, and it matches. I'm like, ooh, so I'm going to use that. Pink is not my color. Pink is an uncomfortable color for me. But anyway, what you're going to do is open up your little notebook. And I know this is going to be a lot for me to tell you, okay? So if you look in the description box, and I'm also going to pin a comment, I'm going to write down all of this stuff that I'm telling you. And if you'll give me a couple days, there's a net in here. If you'll give me a couple days, I want to write up a blog post about this and put the prompts there as well. But anyway, open this up to whatever your first page is. And your first page, however many pages it takes, it doesn't have to be 1 page. I want you to write an apology letter to yourself, to your current self, to your younger self, to the self in the future. But I want you to write an apology letter. And it can be something like, dear self, I'm sorry I always put you last. I'm sorry that I'm so hard on you. I'm sorry that I blame you for this thing that really wasn't your fault. But I want you to go in depth. And don't lie to yourself. Nobody is going to see this but you. Do not lie to yourself when you're writing down any of this stuff, okay? Because when you lie to yourself, that is still coming from a sense of ego. That's not coming from your higher self. So once you get done with your apology letter, I want you to start on day number 1. So this is day number 1 through day 10. Each day, I want you to write down one thing that you do not like about yourself. something that you hate about yourself, something that you just dislike about yourself. And if you're sitting there saying, well, there's nothing I dislike about myself, okay, you're lying already. You're lying to yourself already. And I'm going to tell you something. In my years of healthcare, I loved working on the psych units in the psych homes. That was my thing. I've taken more psychology courses, read more psychology papers, seen more documentaries, read so many psychology books. And I'm trying to be nice about this. If you are sitting there saying to yourself, there's nothing that I dislike about myself, you're either a sociopath or you're a narcissist. Okay? That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it, because there is something. There are many things that each one of us does not like about ourselves. Be honest with yourself, because this is only to help you. I'm not going to see it. Nobody else is going to see it. You have to be honest with yourself. So days 1 through 10, let's take this paper and say day number 1. Write down something that you don't like about yourself and how is it affecting your life in a negative way. I want you to really think about that. How does it affect you on a daily basis to not like this thing about yourself? So that's going to be days 1 through 10. Okay, let's pretend I just did all that. I write quickly. Let's pretend I just did all that. So days 11 through 20. I want you to write down one thing each day that you don't like or that you hate about your past. Something in your past that happened. How is it affecting your life right now in a negative way? Okay, so this thing happened to me when I was 10 years old. I didn't like it. This is what happened, and this is how it is affecting my life. Okay, next day. This is what happened to me when I was 15 years old, and this is how it still affects me today. Write it all out. I don't care if you take 2 or 3 sheets of paper, just do it. So that's going to be your days 11 through 20. All right. So now on days 21 through 30, I want you to use these prompts of what to write. Now I have my own notes over here because this is a lot that I need to tell you. And like I said, look in the description box. I'm going to pin a comment and give me a little bit and I'll write a blog post. All right. So this is going to be on day 21, days 21 through 30. Day 21, write a letter to the person who has hurt you the most. And you say whatever you want to say to them. You might not have the courage or the guts to say it to their face, or you might be too scared to say it to their face, and that is absolutely fine. But if you could have them right there in front of you and say anything in this world that you could with no repercussions, and you had all the courage in the world to say it, what would you say? Okay? The next day, I want you to think about the absolute darkest day in your life. Or it could be the darkest week, the darkest month, the absolute darkest time in your life when you are at your absolute lowest. Think about that day, and now imagine if you were an outsider standing beside of you during that time, observing all of that, okay? Write a letter to yourself from that person's perspective, okay? Write a letter to the person that you're seeing right there, having their darkest time of their life. Next day, imagine yourself around 5 or 6 years old, because around that age, you're starting to become aware of the world and you're very easily influenced. Imagine yourself. If you have a picture of yourself at that age, that's awesome. Sit there and look at that picture and act like you're talking to it. If you don't have a picture, just hold the image of yourself in your mind and write a letter to that child. Anything that you want to say to it. Say, I'm sorry that this traumatic thing is happening to you. I'm sorry that the molestation is happening to you. I'm sorry the abuse is happening. I'm sorry that this is happening. I'm sorry. Talk to them. Tell them whatever you want to say. Remember, nobody's going to see this but you. Okay? The next day, write down your biggest loss. What was your biggest loss in your whole life? It could be the death of someone. It could have been that you lost your home. Something. What was your biggest loss? And if you're sitting here watching this video, then guess what? You made it. You made it through that loss. And I want you to write down how you survived it. What did you do to survive it? And if you feel like you haven't totally survived it, like you're still grieving, you're still hurting, write that down too. Okay? Just write about it. Write about your biggest loss and what you had to do and how you felt while you were surviving it. Okay, next page. Next day. Whose life do you envy? Is it your neighbor? Is it your friend? Is it somebody online? Do you envy their life? Why? Why do you envy their life? And if you did have their life, how would you feel? How would things be better for you if you had their life? And I want you to really think about this. Really think about this. How would your life be better if you had their life? But how also would your life be worse if you had their life? I know a lot of people that has a lot of money and their personal lives are an absolute mess. You know, things aren't always as they seem. Okay, the next day, write down, what is your biggest insecurity? What is your biggest insecurity and why is it an insecurity? When was the last time that somebody pointed it out and how did that make you feel? Okay, next day. When was the last time that you said something that was deliberately hurtful to someone? You know, when you just got so much anger, you've been having a bad day, you know, nothing is going right, and then you just lash out at somebody, and people do this online. People do this online quite a bit. Even us YouTubers deal with it. When we get a thumbs down, people are doing that from a sense of their ego. Their lives suck. Their lives suck, and they are lashing out and acting like this because they're jealous, because they're angry at something, or they're just, you know, incredibly immature. So think about it. Think about when was the last time you deliberately said or did something to somebody that was hurtful. You know, why did you even do that? Why did you say it? Why did you do it? And how did it make you feel? Really, do you feel better now that you're clicking your little thumbs down button? Do you feel better because you insulted somebody online? Why are you doing it? Most people self-project, okay? When you're talking to somebody else and say, oh, well, you're stupid and you're this and you're, but they're self-projecting. They're saying to you what they really feel about themselves, you know? So write all that out. Okay, next page, next day. How often do you lie to yourself? Remember what I said earlier, you can't do this and lie to yourself. How often do you lie to yourself? What do you lie to yourself about and why do you do it? Why do you lie to yourself? The next day, what's one of your bad habits? How do you justify having that bad habit? And how does having that bad habit make you feel? Somebody came to me talking about binge eating, eating junk, eating the cookies and the candy and the chips and the pizza and the ice cream. Oh, because I love myself and I deserve it. No, I said, you're hurting your body. When you knowingly eat these things, and I'm going to make some people mad here, because we know obesity is so dangerous. It can be so dangerous. I've seen it. I've worked the bariatric units. I've seen what it can do to people. When you are knowingly doing this thing to yourself and you know it's not good for you, that's not love. You don't love yourself if you're doing that. Would you hurt somebody that you love? Then why are you doing this bad thing for yourself? And it's like I told her, I said, you know it's bad, but you sat there and you ate half of a chocolate cake and then drank a Diet Coke. You know it's bad. Well, yeah, but I love myself. I love my body. No, you don't. If you loved yourself, you would stop putting the things in it that's hurting you. You're hurting yourself because, anyway, not to get all into that. I could talk to you for hours about this stuff, but her blood sugar levels are off the charts. Her blood pressure is high. She has heart palpitations. And I'm like, you're hurting yourself. Stop it. But why do you justify doing it? Think about that bad habit, drinking the excess Diet Coke, the smoking, the junk food, the this, the that. You can't justify that, but I want you to write down why you justify doing it to yourself. And now this is going to be on the 30th day, the last day, and this is going to be difficult. I want you to get whatever you can get, a pencil, colored pencil, marker, pen, paint, whatever, and I want you to draw a representation of your shadow self. What do you think your shadow self looks like? What do you think it looks like? I want you to draw it out, and I want you to take your time with this. You don't have to be an artist. I don't care if you're an artist. It don't matter. This is personal to you. But I want you to draw a representation of your shadow self in detail. Try to go into as much detail as possible. Okay? Now that you've done all that, I want you to just close up your little journal. It'll probably do you good every once in a while to just break out your journal, read through it. Just read through it and see what your answers are. But don't write anything else in it for about 6 months. Now, during that 6-month period, you need to practice self-care. Do things for yourself. If taking a bubble bath at night is a luxury for you, you need to make time for it. You put the kids to bed early. They're going to be fine without you for 20 to 30 minutes. Put them to bed and go take that bath. Go take a walk in nature. Do something. If you stop at a gas station and get a $1.50 cup of coffee, that's doing something for yourself, but you have to do that, okay? If you don't start doing things for yourself, then none of this is going to make any sense. And once you do all of this, you are going to really start to get in touch with the true you, the real you. Once you have been broken down and that ego is flung out the window, everything is going to become a lot more clear to you. I can almost guarantee this, but you have to put in the work. Your intention work, your candle work, your spell work, it's all going to work so much better and with more accuracy and with more clarity if you can do this for yourself. Now, there are a few warnings here. If you have a mental disorder, okay, if you have a mental disorder or if you have clinical depression, I'm not talking about, oh, my car broke down and I lost my job and oh, I'm so sad, I'm so depressed. You're going to be all right. You'll be fine. It's going to rectify itself. I'm talking about true clinical depression. This may be incredibly difficult for you, okay? I don't suggest doing it totally alone. Once you write something out, if you need to call a friend, if you need to call your doctor, if you need to call a therapist, if you need to talk to somebody while you're doing it, because this can trigger some very deep, dark emotions. When I first learned about it, I was in my early teens when I first learned about shadow work. And let me tell you, I thought bad things had happened to me then, but bad things hadn't even begun to happen to me until years later. And you should see my shadow workbook. Get some scary stuff in there. But yeah, it's going to trigger a lot of things, a lot of very painful things, and a lot of these things you don't need to go through alone. A lot of people can. I'm used to doing everything in my life alone. I'm used to going through every little emotion alone, so I'm okay. But I know a lot of people out there aren't, so I just want you to be careful when you do this. Please take care of yourself. Once you get done with all this, you're going to feel different. You're going to view the world differently. Everything is going to be different. And like I said earlier, and I cannot express this enough, which is why I'm saying it over and over, only when you get rid of the ego can you begin to work with everything else. Only then can you start to really get in touch with your tarot cards, your oracle cards, your psychic readings, your mediumship, things like that, your spell work, casting your healing spells. Like I said, I'm a 3rd degree Reiki master teacher, and even that has gotten stronger once you really keep up with your shadow work. It's going to help you. So if I made somebody mad, I made them mad. But if you do what I say, you're going to see the difference. But anyway, if you would, give this video a thumbs up. Click subscribe. Check me out on other forms of social media, the links to all of which will be in the description box down below. And I hope to see y'all next time. Bye.